Welcome to the Deep Dive. We take complex sources and boil them down to the key insights you need.
Getting you up to speed quickly.
Exactly. Today, we're looking at human impact assessments, specifically the framework from LEDV5 for commercial interiors.
Right, LEDID plus CV5.
It's basically a structured way to think about the social side of a project, wouldn't you say?
Definitely. It prompts you to really consider the community context. Oh, and before we jump in fully, make sure you subscribe to hear more about this world.
Good point. Okay, so human impact assessments.
Yeah, the core idea, the real intent here is to make sure that when you're developing a project, you're actively thinking about the social setting.
You mean the local community?
That, but also the workforce involved, even the supply chain. The goal is to flag and hopefully, address potential social inequities before they become issues.
So it's moving beyond just, say, energy efficiency or materials.
Way beyond. It's about the human element, the social footprint of the building.
Okay, makes sense. The source material breaks this down into 4 main categories of information needed for the assessment. Let's tackle the first one, demographics.
Right. Demographics. This is about understanding who lives and works in the area around the project.
So what kind of specifics are we talking about?
Well, things like race and ethnicity data, gender breakdowns, age distribution, income levels are crucial, employment rates too. Also, population density, education levels, different household types, and importantly, identifying if there are nearby vulnerable populations.
Why gather all that? What does it achieve?
It gives you a baseline, you need to understand the community you're potentially impacting to make sure the project is, well, equitable and actually meets local needs. Knowing income levels, for instance, might impact how you think about affordability.
Got it. So know your neighbors, basically. What's the second category?
Local infrastructure and land use. This is about how the project physically plugs into its surroundings.
Okay, like
looking at the transport options nearby. Is there good public transit? What about pedestrian paths? Bike lanes. It also covers adjacent diverse uses, meaning is there a good mix of things like shops, homes, parks nearby? And then there are things like local sustainability goals the project should align with, plus accessibility codes.
So it's about context, how the building fits into the bigger picture of the neighborhood and the city's plans.
Precisely. Does it support or hinder what the community is trying to achieve, like walkability or sustainability target?
Right. Okay, category 3. Human use and health impacts. This sounds pretty direct.
It really is. This looks at how the project affects people's well-being, both directly and indirectly.
Examples.
Big ones include housing affordability and availability in the area, access to social services, think healthcare, schools, social support networks. Community safety is in there, too. Understanding the existing local community groups is important. And critically, it extends to protections for the workforce, both on the construction site and further down the supply chain. Fair labor practices, safety, that sort of thing.
So asking the question, is this project actually good for the people connected to it?
Exactly. Is it contributing positively? Or could it inadvertently cause harm?
Okay, that leads us to the final category, occupant experience. This feels more focused on the people inside the building.
That's right. This is all about the quality of the space for the people who will actually use it day to day.
Like good lighting.
Yep. Opportunities for daylight, views, whether windows can be open for fresh air. Also, the environmental conditions inside, air quality, water quality. And it even considers the immediate outside environment, the soundscape nearby, lighting patterns from neighbors, wind tunnels between buildings, basically the microclimate around the site. It all affects occupant comfort and health.
It's quite comprehensive. And the source mentions using relevant information from these areas. So it's not just a blind checklist.
Definitely not. It requires thought. What's relevant depends entirely on the project. A small office renovation will have different key social impacts than, say, building a large new community health center. You have to tailor the assessment.
So wrapping up, the main takeaway is that this human impact assessment framework within LEDV5 really pushes project teams to look beyond the physical structure.
Yeah, to see the building as part of a social ecosystem and to consider its impact on people near and far. It's about designing more thoughtfully, more equitably.
It certainly makes you think differently about everyday spaces.
Yeah.
You walk into your office or a shop and wonder, what were the human considerations here? What are the impacts we don't always see?
That's a great question to ponder. What are those visible and invisible human impacts all around us?
Definitely something to mull over.
Well, that's our deep dive for today. To keep exploring these kinds of topics with us, please subscribe now to hear more about this world.